No. Sif Yud. We're learning the Sikhe Parshas Kisei. This is on page 205, Sif Yud. Okay. So the Sikhe the Rebbe discusses the Schar, Losad Lavai, many different details that we learned up until here. Let's focus on what the Rebbe is going to answer in Sif Yud. Sif Yud, the Rebbe answers a question that the Marsha asks. What's the Shaila of the Marsha? The Gemara brings a story that Rabbi Yaakov saw someone climbing up a ladder for the mitzvah of Shiluach HaKan and the mitzvah of Kibbutz Dav. They were both together because his father asked him to bring him the bird. What happened? On his way down, he falls and he collapses and dies. Says Rabbi Yaakov, Bikan Raya, the mitzvah by Al Maleka. Fragt the Marsha, how can you say mitzvah by Al Maleka? In the Parsha, when it says, all the things that it says in that Parsha, it's clear that it's all talking about Gashmias. There's no way to explain it Baruchnias. So how could Rabbi Yaakov say Mitzvah by Al Maleka? So the Marsha answers, that's a Venzich. When it's the schar for Rabbim, Telechu is also written B'Lashon Rabbim. If Klal Yisrael collectively is going to be doing what it says there, then there'll be the schar Begashmis and Elam Hazeh. When Rabbi Yaakov said schar mitzvah by Al Maleka, he was talking about a story with an individual. When you get to a schar of a yochid, on that Rabbi Yaakov proves from the story that he saw himself that schar mitzvah by Al Maleka. That's the Marsha's pshat. So earlier in the Sikha, the Rebbe quoted this Marsha, and the Rebbe said, fine, it's Marsha's pshat. But the thing is, in the Rambam, there's no remes for this pshat. The Rambam, on one hand, paskins schar mitzvah by Al Maleka. It actually depends on what details we learned about it last week. But the Rambam paskins schar mitzvah by Al Maleka. And at the same time, the Rambam brings that the Yehudim, Gashmiim, all the things that it says in Parshas B'chukaisa, it means Kipshuta in Elam Hazeh. And the Rambam doesn't say this chilik of the Marsha, that it depends on Yochid or Rabbim. So how do we explain this? That's what the Rebbe is going to address here in Sif Yud. Let's see inside. Okay, it's on page 205.
Was it Telechu in the singular or in the plural?
Plural. Telechu. Yeah, it's Lashon Rabbim. The story that Rabbi Yaakov saw that this individual fell and died. So Rabbi Yaakov had gesehen. Is nicht kein stire to the Yehudim Gashmiim Shebetayres lachatchila, not a contradiction to this, that the Torah promises that you'll have Nasati Geshmechem Bito. Why not? Yehudim Gashmiim Shebetayre Gitmen Ayidin. What are these Gashmiim, the things the Torah is speaking about? So it's being given to a Yid. B'shar Sar lept. He's alive. Has to be only when he's alive. Und es liegt auf ihm achiv zu lernen mekayim sein mitzvahs. He has the obligation to learn and fulfill mitzvahs. Was damals darf from Kaviyachal the Eibishter geben, die alle Yehudim, so the Eibishter gives him all these things that are promised, kedei as sein ponui, lilmid b'chachma v'lasas mitzvah, so that he should have the ability to fulfill the mitzvahs. If the Eibishter is mitzvah to fulfill mitzvahs and to learn Torah, and then it doesn't make it possible. You have so many tirdis and so many daigas and so many tzaras chas v'shalom that it's not possible. So then what is he asking to do the mitzvahs for? If the Eibishter commands to do the mitzvah, that itself is the reason why the Eibishter gives you the ability to fulfill the mitzvah. That's the concept of Yudim Gashmiim, which means Yudim Gashmiim is not an Indian of a schar. What does schar mean? Schar means I finished doing what I'm supposed to. Now the Eibishter says, oh, you're done. You deserve a reward. Here it's fakert. Because you have to now go and do what you're supposed to. I commanded you to do this. So if I'm commanding you to do this, I have to give you the tools and the life and the health and everything else you need, the money to be able to go ahead and do it. It's not a union of a schar. Therefore, schar has to be begashmis. The whole point of the schar is to enable. Shas as ending but the thing though is, if the days that are destined for a person to live in this world comes to an end. That the Eibishter set the amount of time this person is living in the world to be Mekayim Torah mitzvahs, a certain number of years that every neshama that comes into the world with a certain mission, with a certain number of days and years to do his mitzvahs. So when that's done, is mitzvah, the Yehudim Gashmiim. There's no reason that he should live longer. Yudim Gashmiim does not include Arichas Yomim. Yudim Gashmiim means while you're alive and you're using out your life for Torah mitzvahs, so the Eibishter will give you the opportunity to be able the time of a person in this world comes to an end. It comes to an end. On the Rebbe, so therefore, is no follow maze. When you see this individual that went up in the ladder and then he was coming down, he died. Can steer in it to the Udim Shabbatayra. It's not a contradiction to this that the Torah promises to have good life, to be able to do what it says in the Torah. While what happened in that case? That was the years of his life. Punkt, his mazel, it ended at that moment when he was coming down from the ladder. That was the matzah that was the second that his life was supposed to end the Chatchila. Shama came out into the world for that number of time, and that's when that ended. So you're going to say, oh, Mekan Raya, that there's no Yehudim Gashmi. Why? While he was alive, we'll assume that this person had a good life, Begashmis and Allah and Yonim to be Mekayim Torah and Mitzvahs, and that was the moment when it ended. Finished. So the Arichas Yomim is nothing to do with Yehudim Gashmi. When it says Laman Yarich Yamecha, that's Takaschar. That's a schar that would cause you Mekayim. Huh? Yeah. So that's a different Indian. Yeah. There's a letter from the Rebbe in Igris, it's also printed in the Sichos Chelik Lamed Hey in the Isofis Parshas Vayechi, where there was someone that passed away in the middle of him celebrating Achnas Sefer Torah that he donated. Mitten Achnas Sefer Torah is everyone's dancing and he passes away. So his wife or the mother or someone wrote to the Rebbe, Hayatochen, Aktonazam Mitzvah, mitten the Simcha, and such a thing should happen. So one of the nekudas the Rebbe answers him is that from the entire life of a person, can sich vorstellen that the most important and extreme matziv in the life of a person is the moment when the neshama geht raus from the guf. And then that the Eibishter had gemacht, that it should happen, the most happiest occasion and the happiest surrounding and the happiest matziv, Adarabah, this is the biggest, he was supposed to pass away at this moment, and the Eibishter had gemacht that it happened, punkt, in this time. Can ich sagen, from them? That's what the Rebbe writes it. It's schwer, but the Rebbe said this as if right. Yeah. But the Rebbe read the memos. Yeah, that's the Meise. So I'm saying over here it says that this person passes away when he's coming down from the ladder. Halt mit einer Mitzvah. Halt mit einer Mitzvah. Yeah, he was on the way bringing matzahs. Delivering matzahs. Yeah. Hit him. Yeah. Shluch mitzvah in a mizaki and halt mit einer Mitzvah. How can such a thing happen? Yeah. Okay, ich has was shit in a brief. Yeah. Huh? Yeah, probably. But you're saying Chelik Lamed Hey, the Sofis Vayechi. Take a look there. Very interesting. Okay. Now, but then there's another thing. Schar. From them was Nafal Umeis. But what do you see from this that he fell and died? Is Abra Raya Schar. That when it comes to reward, which is Indians Dadi Abba Yedeh Mitzvah. That's already a next thing that you come after you fulfill the mitzvah, so the Eibishter gives you schar. A filler from Peiresein, see, even the Peiris of that is Nidab Ba'olam Hazeh. That doesn't exist in this world, because over here the Torah says that what's the schar? Arichas Yomim. So even if the days of his life were supposed to come to an end at that moment, but he's doing a mitzvah that the Torah promises Arichas Yomim. Arichas Yomim should have meant that he should live a very long life, even more than was Chila destined for him to live. So that you see clearly, that went up from them, Aschar Mitzvah by Al Maleka, because he passed away here. Now, regarding this is a machlokes. The Rebbe explained this already in the previous sif. Leit Rabbi Yaakov by Al Mitzvahs. From here, there's a raya that's Schar Mitzvah by Al Maleka regarding all kinds of mitzvahs. Doesn't matter. Chavei Rambam by the mitzvahs ben Adam Lamokim Kanal. Rambam holds mitzvahs ben Adam Chavei. The Ikra schar is Neilam Haba, but the Peiris of the schar is Neilam Hazeh, like it says in the Mishnah in Peiris same by Neilam Hazeh. But mitzvahs she ben Adam Lamokim, even the Peiris there's no schar Neilam Hazeh. That's how the Rambam learns this Indian. So here there's a very interesting ha'ara with the two Shuli Agilians to understand what's the shayrish of the machlokes between the Rambam and Rabbi Yaakov. There's a pasuk like Rabbi Yaakov regarding the story. For some reason, Rabbi Yaakov proved from the story that from here you see Schar Mitzvah by Al Maleka for any kind of mitzvah, not Ben Adam Lamokim, not Ben Adam Lachaveira. And the Rambam learns that from this mitzvah you only see that Schar Mitzvah by Al Maleka benegayet to Ben Adam Lamokim, but benegayet to Ben Adam Lachaveira there is Schar in this world. What's the chiluk? So let's see out of 66. Very interesting thing. Kain yesh loymar. So b'chlal, because there is room to say that the Rambam holds that the story that Rabbi Yaakov said he saw, for them, but we don't. Whatever, we don't. The Rambam doesn't hold to this. The Rebbe says no. They're not arguing about whether the story happened or not. The story happened. Norvos. So Kain yesh loymar. The Rambam loma the schar mitzvah hayek al meleke. We see that the Rambam also holds of this concept of schar mitzvah b'hayal maleke. Regarding what? By mitzvah shebenot malakim. Where did the Rambam learn that out from? Also from this story that he saw that he fell after when in the middle of his doing the mitzvah. Okay, so what's the difference? Avol svirele the aim ha'maisai chochel kibud aveim. You can't prove anything from here regarding kibud aveim, which is a mitzvah shebein adam lachaveiroi. Why? When he was coming down, he wasn't even planning to bring those birds to his father. Earlier in the Sikha, the Rebbe discussed, if you remember, earlier in the Sikha, the Rebbe discussed an Indian here that when you get to mitzvahs, there's a shayla whether mitzvah sirichas kavanah or not. Yeah. Then there's another point. Even if mitzvahs ain't sirichas kavanah, but what if you have a kavanah hofchis? You have a kavanah, I don't want to do the mitzvah. So then, l'kula alma, you're not yet to the mitzvah. But the Rebbe said, with one exception, b'nodam lachaveirei. By b'nodam lachaveirei, even if you have a b'feidish kavanah, not to this, I'm a abed selav, a novel, ani, and the ani pibani. The ikir is that the makabel, the Ottoman, has the benefit of the mitzvah. So whatever your kavanah is doesn't matter.
So if I put on film, L'Shem Shemayim.
Yeah.
If it's not without kavanah, it's like
It is L'Shem Shemayim.
L'Shem Shemayim.
L'Shem Shemayim?
Is keloi.
But that's a kavanah.
That's kavanah l'shma, you mean? Kavanah
You did the
l'shma.
right thing.
No, but let's say you don't have kavanah.
Yeah, and
If you don't have kavanah,
picking the wrong thing by film, the flat by film.
es ist nicht ma'akev b'diavad, aber it's not ma'akev b'diavad. There's a like but film kavanah is negay. Yeah. Came the Bach. Yeah. Okay, but we hear the Rebbe saying, here the Rebbe saying a different point. Yeshleimet loyhaya bedaito is not a thing of kavanah. More than that, he Pasha wasn't planning on bringing the birds to his father. His father says to his son, "You see the birds there in the tree. Go bring the birds to me." The son goes and he says, "I'm taking it for myself." How do you know he's planning on bringing it to his father? He died before he came down. So how do you know that he was planning on bringing it to him?
Did the father make him aware of the fact that it's a mitzvah to get that bird?
If
The son wasn't even aware of it.
let's say he made him aware that it's a mitzvah. But here the Rebbe is trying to say, the mitzvah of Shiluach HaKan, it was. Not yet. It was a mitzvah of Shiluach HaKan. But who says he was in the middle of fulfilling Kibbud Aveim?
Maybe the mere fact that he went to do with his father's shlichus, that's
Lamazen. So Lamazen.
Oh, yeah.
So,
The
here,
father-
okay, the Rebbe is going to address this. But first, the point that Rebbe is saying is he died. The mitzvah of Shiluach HaKan, he did. Because he's already on the way down, so he already fulfilled the mitzvah of Shiluach HaKan. So that we know he did. But he didn't come to his father yet. So if he didn't come to his father yet, you don't know if he was ever planning on going to his father. Theoretically. So therefore, the Rambam says, you can't prove him that the next page. He said that the Rebbe says he took it for himself, maybe. So the Rebbe brings Svara Pnei Yeshua, Lev Aryeh. The Lev Aryeh, I believe, is the sefer from the Shagas Aryeh. I believe. Maybe I'll have to check this again. I'm not 100% sure. Ma'aser Keach. The Ma'aser Keach says, Adayin lo yikiyem mitzvahs kibbud av. Zesh, a little bit of a different point. Even if he did plan on fulfilling the mitzvah, but Pilate didn't do the mitzvah yet. He was preparing to do the mitzvah. He was carrying it to go to his father. But the fulfillment of the mitzvah is when he arrives to his father and puts it down on the table for him. So therefore, the Rambam holds, how are you going to prove from here that it doesn't mean by Lamazah? From this story, the mitzvah, which is Kibbud Avim, you don't have. The mitzvah Shiluach HaKan, that you have. The mitzvah Shebenodim Lamokim, there's no Schar Neilam Hazeh. But for mitzvah Shebenodim Chavera, there's no Raya. Azayt Rambam gelernt.
pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. Okay. Now take a look in the second Shuli Agilian, where the Rebbe explains. So what does Rabbi Yaakov hold? Why is there a raya from here?
Does the Rebbe swear in the Rambam?
Again?
Does the Rebbe
Yeah.
swear in the Rambam?
Well, the Rebbe is bringing Moshiach Shiur b'fnei Yeshua. The Rebbe is saying that as a halt the Rambam. B'nei Yeshua doesn't say it in the Rambam. B'nei Yeshua says it in the Gemara. The Rebbe is teaching this is the Rambam Shitta.
Okay.
And the second Shuli Agilion here, on this the Rebbe says, Rabbi Yaakov Svirelei. This is the svara that you said. V'kiv v'shohalach lahaken. Take if achat sivui oviv. His father tells him, go bring it for me. And he goes right after his father commands him to bring it. So ma'asav mechichim she'ala lo yavim alaviv. The fact that he goes right away, that's the biggest proof that that's probably what he was trying to do. Ubistame ein loymar should take it from yad nimlach. His father told him to go bring it, so he goes and he changes his mind and thinks to himself, "Oh, it's a nice bird. Maybe I should take it for myself." Why? Why should we assume such a thing? It is with the chazaka. The chazaka is, you see, he's going to bring the bird for his father. So therefore, Rav Yaakov says, "Mikan rayes char mitzvah bayal meleke from mitzvah shvinod lamakoim and from mitzvah shvinod lachavera." There's no difference. That's the difference here. Yeah. Here's another shot that the Rebbe says inside the Hara. Oh yesh loymar, much simpler. Why the Rambam holds that it's not a raya from mitzvah shvinod lachavera. Kivin shebetesefta safchulin huva maimer Rav Yaakov. The same story of Rav Yaakov is brought in the Tesefta. But there was a change. Rak b'shiluach hakam. There it doesn't mention that his father told him. It just says that about shiluach hakam. So it's only a raya for shiluach hakam, which is a mitzvah ben adon lamakim. There's no raya when you get the mitzvah ben adon lachavera. So this is the source of this machlekes. Yeah.
There's a whole other thing that comes in over
Yeah.
there. And there's about Schar Mitzvah and how about Einish? Einish gibt der Rebbe zu Menschen, die sind tzaddikim.
Yeah.
Das heißt, Schar Mitzvah lecker. Aber it's the
Yeah, the Gemara says, a few places the Gemara
I'm saying
says,
I'm touching on a
yeah, it's a huge subject, but it's maybe not something to elaborate upon. But the Gemara does say, the famous kasha, why is it that tzaddikim toiv v'ra lehem and reshaim v'toiv lehem, not the Alter Rebbe's Pirish, but kipshute, why tzaddikim have a bad life and reshaim have a good life? So the Gemara in a few places answers that question. Because tzaddikim, the Rebbe wants to give them the emes schar ne'elam haba purely without having to suffer for the little kleine kaiten that they have to get an einish for in this world. So the Rebbe gives them the einish in this world. Komt up of the Welt, and then elam haba, it's pure. By the Shoim, it's verkehrt. Yeah, was Shem Yechiach. Ach, Indian. Okay.
No, so in other words, verkehrt. The Rebbe wants to give a tzaddik whatever you saw over here. The timing is a little bit muddy. When he's going to do the it's a very
Versteht garnished.
It's a big subject.
Yeah. Okay, but the rest of the Sikha is we're not going to learn because the Sif Yud Aleph is explaining the beginning of Masechta Chol and the connection of the Masechta, and Sif Yud Beis is Beneget Chodesh Elul. There's one order was order 76, where the Rebbe brings the famous machlokes. What does it mean? Schar mitzvah bayal meleke. So where's the schar in elam haba? So what's the pshat elam haba? What's the pirish? So in order 76, the Rebbe brings Berambam reish berik ches milchus shuv lo olam shekule aroch elam haba hainu gan eden. When the Rambam talks about elam haba, what's the Rambam shitte that refers to gan eden, which is neshamas beloy gufen, because the Rambam says that that's the tachlis. The Rambam says that achat chiyas hamesim, the neshamas are going to go back up to be neshamas beloy gufen. That's the Rambam shitte. Avol das Rambam b'shara gmul, and v'huvim b'farshei Rambam sham ashecheinu achra b'kabbalah v'chsidis both said this is the psak din hakavana kepashtus lashon gemara. Chiyas hamesim tluya ba. The Gemara says it that if be mekayim laman yerichin yamecha it's chiyas hamesim, which the olam shekule toiv shekule aruch hainu la'achat chiyas hamesim the sham is begov. That's the pshat. According to that way we're machriya b'kabbalah teis achsidis.
The Rebbe spoke about this a million times.
Yeah, one time in Tafshin and Beis all the way up to Mamash, the Rebbe said that the emes aful the Rambam zechet meida. It's not so clear how you fit it into the Rambam, but the Rebbe said the Rambam was also made that ultimately it's neshamas beguf from dafka. That's the real kavanah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Richis
Chesiyamim, correct. But it means when, what's a Richis Yamim and Tchiyas HaMeisem.